be a sponge, and then bring the juice.
By focusing on your improvement, by focusing on your progress, and eliminating any fixed mindset that you may have and acts of perfectionism, then you encourage your own mastery.
On some level, we do what we want to do 24 hours a day. Now, sometimes it may not seem like that, but if I'm choosing to work instead of sleep, what I'm actually saying is keeping my job is more important than sleeping.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting beat. What can I do to get over this hump? So mentally, that's when I kind of put that forefront, like, hey, it's either all or nothing.
I like to put failure in quotations because I don't believe that failure is true failure if you're looking at it with the right mindset.
The truth is, the journey to greatness is hard. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus, and every day you have to decide what you value, what you want to pursue, and what you want to achieve. And if you dig deep enough, if you push hard enough, we all have what it takes to be great. Welcome to the Edge of Greatness. Hello and welcome to episode 122 of the Edge of Greatness podcast. I'm your host, Charles Schultz, and today I have a lesson in greatness for you. I was thinking about this a little bit during the week, and I thought it was a good time to kind of come back to one of those story times. Before I get into the stuff I wanted to talk about today, I do want you to, if you could, take a moment, write a review, share the show, make sure you're subscribed. Also visit the website, check out what we're doing over there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's out there that's available to you from a content standpoint that I want to make sure you're getting your hands on. But the only way you can do that is by visiting the website, theedgeofgreatnessproject.com. And if you do that, there's some cool stuff you can get from a sign-ups perspective, and then I've got some sales going on for some different things as far as that goes. But I don't want to sell a whole bunch of stuff at you right now, because today I want to talk about kind of how over the last 2 years my perspective has shifted. It's been about 2 years now that I started doing the Edge of Greatness project and started seeing the world a little differently and truly digging into the studying of what I believe greatness is. And during that time, I've really began to notice greatness in more places. And it's an interesting thing because I think if we pay attention to what our perspectives are, what we're looking for, how our mind is really perceiving the world around us, the things we focus on, we begin to notice. So if you are constantly thinking about things in a negative fashion, you're going to notice the negative things. If you are blaming the world for all of the things that are going wrong, if you're looking at things as unfortunate events that happen to you, you're going to notice more of those. But if you're seeing the world through a lens that says there are possibilities, you're going to notice the possibilities. And so for me, I've been looking at greatness. I've been looking at things and people who are achieving incredible things and incredible feats. And what I've found is that I see greatness everywhere. I see it in sports. I see it in food. I see it in leadership. I see it in art, music, writing, speaking, comedy, crazy human feats, education, research. I literally see greatness everywhere I look. And it's been an incredible opportunity for me to say, that I've been missing a lot of opportunities to see greatness because I didn't know what I was looking for. But now, for me, once I've realized that greatness is a skill that's being presented to us that has taken years of time to develop. And if you realize and you look at it like that, you see it in a lot more places. As somebody who I'm not a huge social media guy, but unfortunately with what I do as a content creator and as a podcast host, I spend way more time than I would like to on these platforms, especially with TikTok. I'm not a huge TikTok fan. I've got an account. I post maybe once a year, is what it feels like. But I use TikTok more to see what's trending. I use TikTok to see what people are achieving. And TikTok has shown me some incredible feats and acts of greatness. there's an account out there that the guy is he's a chocolate artist. I guess that's the best way to describe it. The other day I opened up my phone and I pull up TikTok, and this dude starts putting together this chocolate statue, and I'm watching, and it's just coming together, and it's just balls of chocolate going in places, and then you see him making feathers, and I'm like, what is going on? And there it is. It's a phoenix, a chocolate phoenix. And I'm not talking like small little like Easter bunny chocolate phoenix. I'm talking like statue size, belongs in a museum chocolate phoenix. And I'm starting to look at this stuff, and I think, and I go, my God, how long did it take for this man to learn the skills and the art that's required to present something to the world in that fashion? I mean, this is just an incredible piece of artwork that somebody's going to eat. But, you know, it's a really cool moment, because I'm like looking at this guy making food and going, that is greatness, because that guy dedicated his time to his craft. And I'm happy for him that TikTok exists, because I'm thinking about this as this guy is an incredible food artist. But prior to TikTok, he probably didn't get the respect, love, and appreciation that he deserves for the amount of time that he put into that craft. And so I think a lot of times, because we don't see people with great things, doing great things, we don't appreciate how much greatness there is out there. Social media helps, because you start to see that a little bit more often. You see it in other places. But, you know, for the most part, you know, you don't see the greatness that occurs from parents who have dedicated their lives to being present with their children. You might see the one-off video of a dad saving his son from rolling down a hill, you know, dad saves or whatever you want to call it, or the mom standing up for their child. And that's a great story, and that's a great video, but the day-to-day greatness doesn't get seen on those smaller things. But it's there. I see it in my neighborhood. I see it when I watch a mom walk 3 kids down the street trying to direct them all and do all this stuff. That's incredible to me, to be able to control 3 kids by yourself. But, you know, there's another one, you know, with TikTok. There's a woman, she turns normal piano songs into ragtime on her account. That's her whole thing. That's her spiel. But with that, she's got an incredibly funny personality. She takes time to show and tell jokes that are hilarious. But what I see is, because as each time she's doing these fast ragtime style songs on the piano, and she messes up, she makes a face, she says something funny, she swears, and it's all humorous, and people enjoy the humor side of that. But what I see is the practice and the focus and the amount of times that she's willing to do something to get it right, to make it sound the way it's meant to be. That, to me, that right there is the greatness piece. The part that she's willing to show you for funny jokes, and the way that she lets it kind of roll off her shoulders. If we all approached our failures like that, we would all have the ability to achieve greatness everywhere. And I think that's a really interesting piece of all this too, is that she makes light of it and she tells jokes about it, but that's the key to her success. And people appreciate and enjoy those mess ups, because she's funny, and she's got this little way of delivering some levity to a situation where she's having a struggling moment. But that's where we win. That's where we grow. That's how we develop. And we get to see behind the scenes with this TikTok account, and it's an incredible piece of motivation for me, because she's doing these incredible music pieces, and you see most of that most of the time, but then she shows the mess ups, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's not easy. It's a process. And so a lot of times what we're seeing with these accounts, for the most part, is the final product. But greatness takes time. Greatness takes effort. Greatness takes a right mindset. It takes the ability to fail and overcome obstacles. there are so many pieces that have to connect to make that final jump from good to great. And her account's a really cool one. I'll make sure I tag all these in the show notes, because right off the top of my head, obviously I don't have the names of the accounts, but they're worth checking out. I think that you will enjoy them. They're fun. And it's another piece of learning what greatness looks like. The last person I kind of want to talk about is, there's a woman, again, I'm going to stick with the TikTok because I feel like this one has a good platform to see different types of greatness. This is a woman who does DIY projects. And a lot of times she'll put these incredible final products up there, and she shows her process and how she's got to the end. But every now and then she'll throw up a post about how she's struggled to learn some of these skills, how she's worked through the process of, well, it wasn't that good last time, this time's better. And it's another reminder that even the people who do the home remodels, they didn't day one produce gorgeous remodel work. There were flaws, there were growth opportunities, there were learning moments. They were meticulous with, okay, that isn't exactly how I want it. Next time I'm going to do it like this. Or they go back and redo it. That's the other part of it too, is that, yeah, sure, that might be the first time they've done it, but they did it 6 times to get it to look that way. The greats are meticulous. The greats are driven and focused and so into what they're doing every single day that no matter what happens, they're going to get it right. And that's the mindset we need to take, because we can achieve greatness in any task, in any field, in any skill. But we have to be willing to put in the work. We have to be willing to deal with the failures and the setbacks. We have to have a mindset that says, how can I get better each and every time I try this? How can I improve on what I've already done? And if we do that, we can do incredible things. And like I said earlier, there's literally greatness everywhere if we open our eyes to it. So start to think about some of the things that your mind has thrown you off on. How, if you can change your perspective a little bit, what you might be willing to see. If we stop looking at things through a negative lens and shift to a positive one, what does that do for you? What does that change in your life? If you look for opportunities to see greatness instead of claiming that everybody's talented, what does that do for you? What does that reveal about these people that you think are great? Our minds are our most powerful tool, but a lot of times they tend to find a way to get onto autopilot in a negative way. Be stronger than that. Shift your mind, change your perspective, look at the world a different way, and see what all you can discover that's out there in front of you. As always, guys, keep reaching for the stars. Fall flat on your face, but remember, whenever we fall, always get up. Thank you for joining us today on the Edge of Greatness podcast. If you haven't yet, please take a minute now to subscribe and review our show. Join us again next week as we continue to dig deeper into the key components of greatness. The path to greatness is never linear, so remember to keep pursuing greatness no matter what. Keep stretching your abilities, reach for the stars, and fall flat on your face. But remember, no matter what happens, whenever we fall, always get up. Until next time, I'm Charles Schultz, and this was the Edge of Greatness podcast.